Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Monday, January 25th. Thanks for choosing to be here to get filled in for the top stories on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off today with an update on when we can expect the Senate impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. We are learning that Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is expected to deliver the impeachment charge, the single charge of inciting an insurrection, to the Senate this evening. And we did learn last week that current Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of the Democratic Party had said that that trial is expected to begin February 8th, giving some time for former President Trump's counsel to get things together in terms of their defense, and also for the Senate to take care of priorities for the new Biden administration. Now, there are a growing number of Republicans who say that they do not support the impeachment trial. One person, however, who has said that he would like to wait and see the evidence is our U.S. Senator for Ohio, Rob Portman. He said that after the events that happened in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. I bring up Senator Rob Portman because he has announced today that he will not be seeking re-election in 2022. So he has 2 years left on his term. This is his second term in the U.S. Senate for Ohio. Here's what he said in part today. This was not an easy decision because representing the people of Ohio has been an honor, but I've been doing that a long time, longer than I ever intended. He went on to say that this is a tough time to be in public service, saying, "For many of the issues I am most passionate about, I will continue to make a difference outside of the Senate beyond 2022. In the meantime, I am hopeful that President Biden will follow through on his inaugural pledge to reach across the aisle, and I am prepared to work with him and in his administration if he does that." A bit about Senator Portman's career. It spanned 3 decades. In Washington, D.C. He was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1993. That was in a special election. He won 6 more times, so he served Ohio in the U.S. House of Representatives until 2005. That's when he was tapped by President George W. Bush to serve as U.S. Trade Representative, and then was nominated to be the White House Budget Director in 2006. Now, he stepped down for politics for just a bit in 2007, returned in 2010 when he ran for the U.S. Senate seat for Ohio, and then won again in 2016. So again, him emphasizing that he has 2 more years on his term, and he does have a lot that he hopes to accomplish in those next 2 years. Lots of people reacting to this information today, including Governor Mike DeWine and Senator Sherrod Brown, who is Senator Rob Portman's Democratic counterpart in the U.S. Senate. Governor DeWine said this: "Senator Portman has worked tirelessly on behalf of Ohioans during his 2 terms in the United States Senate. Senator Portman has been a key partner on helping Ohio with federal COVID-19 relief and other pandemic-related issues." He said that they have similar policy priorities to help Ohio families, from tackling the opioid crisis and the scourge of human trafficking to protecting Lake Erie and Ohio's other natural wonders. Fran, Governor DeWine's wife, Fran and I wish Rob and Jane, Senator Portman's wife, and their family the best in their future endeavors. Senator Sherrod Brown also released a statement. He said, "Rob and I have worked together on issues that matter to Ohioans, from protecting the health of Lake Erie to better enforcing our trade laws to helping Ohioans who are struggling with addiction. We're not always agreeing with one another, but we've always been able to put our differences aside to do what's best for the state." Connie, which is Senator Brown's wife, and I thank Rob for his career of public service and wish him and Jane well. So now the conversation turns to who will take that seat if Senator Portman, as he said, not running for re-election. So some names have already been floated. And he said that he made this announcement, by the way, Senator Portman, because he's made up his mind and he wants to allow whichever Republicans who choose to run plenty of time to gear up for the statewide race. So on the Republican side, some names that are being floated to potentially run to fill that seat when he does not seek re-election. Representative Jim Jordan, who represents a district for Ohio in the Ohio House. He's been there since 2006, and he is one of Congress's more conservative members, according to his reputation. He's a former Ohio State wrestling assistant coach, and he was a big public supporter of President Donald Trump. He did receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom from the president just shortly before President Trump left office. Another possibility, Lieutenant Governor John Husted. He's currently serving as a lieutenant governor under Governor Mike DeWine. Someone else whose name has been floated, Youngstown State President Jim Tressel, another person with Ohio State coaching ties. He's actually been nicknamed the Senator, so it would be quite interesting if he did eventually become one. Other names that have been floated on the Republican side: Attorney General David Yost, Secretary of State Frank LaRose, former Ohio Treasurer Josh Mandel, and venture capitalist and author J.D. Vance. You can look at a breakdown of all those on WKYC.com. A couple Democrats' names have been floated. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley. He's been the mayor of Dayton since 2014. He's previously considered runs for Congress, and he was linked to high-level consideration here in Ohio. He's been linked to maybe the 2022 gubernatorial election after announcing that she won't run for re-election as mayor. And another person in consideration, Representative Tim Ryan. He's currently the U.S. Representative for Ohio's 13th District. He's been a leading Democratic voice in the state, and he is from the Niles, Ohio area. Another person, potentially, Cincinnati Mayor John Cranley. And here's one that might be surprising to some, but maybe not for others. Some people are floating the name of former Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Amy Acton. This is according to Henry Gomez of BuzzFeed News. Acton has been courted by progressive activists and mentioned as a potential candidate for a Senate run. She did previously volunteer for Barack Obama's presidential campaign, so for anyone who was potentially questioning her inclusion in the Democratic group, that would make sense as to why she's being included among the Democrats here. Other Democrats potentially in consideration: Ohio House Representative Amelia Sykes, former Ohio House Representative Kathleen Clyde, Franklin County Recorder Danny O'Connor, and former Ohio Democratic Party Chairman David Pepper. So lots of possibilities there. Again, there's a lot of time between now and 2022, so we will see who ends up making a run for that Senate seat that is currently occupied by Rob Portman. Now, here in Ohio, it's getting a little bit easier to make an appointment for a COVID-19 vaccine because major pharmacy retailers have come online with registration systems now. That includes Giant Eagle, Mark's, Acme Fresh Market, and Discount Drug Mart. So they are currently scheduling appointments for Ohioans, some of them in the Phase 1B category. We have all of those linked on WKYC.com. Now, the companies, Giant Eagle specifically, are stressing, please don't register until your eligibility period comes open. They said all Ohioans are asked to only schedule a vaccine appointment when they are deemed eligible by health authorities. So here's what we know from the state of Ohio, from the Ohio Department of Health. This week, January 25th, Ohioans 75 years of age and older, and also people with severe congenital or developmental disorders are eligible. Next week, February 1st, it will be Ohioans 70 and older, plus those employees of K through 12 schools. And then the following week, the week of February 8th, that's the Ohioans 65 years of age and older. So once that period comes, that's when these people are asking, the companies are asking that you make that appointment registration for a COVID-19 vaccine. And we have a whole hub about everything you need to know about the COVID-19 vaccine in Ohio. If you just go to wkyc.com/vaccine. You'll find everything that we know that we can share with you right there. Now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in the state of Ohio from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we've seen 4,334 new cases of COVID reported and 57 new deaths. Taking a look at the positive rating, these numbers come from Saturday. The daily percentage of positive cases coming back out of all the testing was 7.8% on Saturday, and the 7-day average is down into the single digits for the first time in a while. It's at 9%. So again, we are seeing these numbers lately lower than we have seen them, which is good news. In the last 24 hours, 189 new people have been hospitalized with COVID. The total number of people in the hospital being treated for COVID right now, just over 3,000. Again, that number also down from what we've seen. It's 3,037. And out of those people, 760 are being treated in an intensive care unit. We've seen 39 new ICU admissions in the last 24 hours. And if you take a look at our hospital beds around the state, right now, 31% of them are open for people who need some kind of treatment that requires that they be admitted to a hospital bed. Now let's take a look at the national and the global numbers for COVID-19. These numbers come from Johns Hopkins University. The total number of cases reported across the U.S. is now at 25,173,485. The total number of deaths is now at 419,000. 621. To give you a little bit of context there, let's remember it was less than a week ago, 6 days ago, on former President Trump's last day in office, that the total number of COVID deaths hit 400,000, and now that number is nearly 420,000. So it's about 20,000 deaths in the last 6 days. If we take a look at how we compare across the U.S. to across the globe, we have 4% of the global population here in the U.S., 25.3% of the COVID-19 cases, that number up a little bit. Also up a little bit, the percentage of deaths. We have 19.7% of the total COVID deaths here in the U.S. Globally, the total number of COVID cases is now at almost 1 billion. That number, 99,396,099. The total number of deaths globally is now at 2,134,210. Now, because of COVID-19, we know the Super Bowl is going to look a bit different this year. There'll be less fans in the stands. We know that they've been allowed to have 21,000 people. That's how many people will be able to be at the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, which, by the way, will be the first time it's happening as a home game because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl. That was decided yesterday. But the Super Bowl will also look a bit different for the people who are watching it at home because the commercials will be a bit different. Budweiser has now joined both Coke and Pepsi in sitting out the Super Bowl in varying degrees. And instead, Budweiser says it will donate the money that it would have spent on a general Anheuser-Busch ad to coronavirus vaccination awareness efforts. This will be the first time since 1983 that Anheuser-Busch hasn't had an iconic Budweiser brand Super Bowl commercial. The reason they didn't have it in 1983 is because Anheuser-Busch used all of its ad time to introduce a new beer called Bud Light. You will still see Bud Light commercials in the Super Bowl, though. Anheuser-Busch will have about 4 minutes of advertising during the game for other brands, including Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, Michelob Ultra, and Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer. Those are its hottest sellers and more popular among the younger viewers, according to the company. PepsiCo also won't be advertising Pepsi in order to focus on its sponsorship of the halftime show, but it will be advertising Mountain Dew and other Frito-Lay items. But some people that you just will not see advertising during the Super Bowl, Coke, Audi, and avocados from Mexico. They will be sitting out Super Bowl advertisement all together, so you will not see those. No one will be sharing those during the game, before the game, after the game. Not from those brands. Anyway. One more thing to let you know here before we go. Cleveland Wing Week is here. This is the first ever Cleveland Wing Week. It kicks off today, and there are a ton of stores in the greater Cleveland area that are offering 6 wings for $5. And you can taste whatever their special twist on it is. Just a couple of the places where you can get your Wing Week wings: 49th Street Tavern, the Rowley Inn, Salted Dough, the Winchester Music Tavern, even the Marriott Cleveland downtown in Key Tower. Be interesting to see what those wings come out looking like. I personally will be sticking to my vegan wings from Yard House, and I know I've said this a million times, but they're really good. From someone who used to really love hot wings and used to really love boneless wings, I think that they taste a lot like boneless wings. I don't know. Some people might disagree, but I think that those are pretty great. So I hope everybody enjoys their wing week. Let me know where your favorites are. I would love to know where I can at least get some wing sauce if I'm not eating the actual wings. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update for Monday, January 25th. I'll see you next up on What's New at 5 p.m. with your trending stories. Make sure you tune in there because we'll be showing off some of your best photos of your work from home situations with your pets. That's coming up at 5 o'clock, and that's something that you can watch for free, by the way, in the WKYC app. So if you don't have cable or you don't have one of those digital antennas, not to worry. You can still watch the show. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe and be well, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. I'm Stephanie Haney.